What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Nikki Bella officially retires, WWE having a big issue, the relationship between Shane and Vince right now, who actually cut the rope at Extreme Rules, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at the power play in AEW. Topping the news is the report that Tony Khan has seized complete creative control in AEW, and that the company's EVPs, aka Executive Vice Presidents, which include Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, have lost any official say in what happens as far as storylines go. Bodyslam.net broke the story with Cassidy Haynes reporting, "Sources within the company have told me that creative was essentially completely taken away from the EVPs, as basically everything now comes through and down to Tony Khan. AEW talents are allowed and encouraged to pitch ideas / give suggestions, but creative is absolutely Tony Khan's prerogative now." Now, that's not to say that the EVPs are doing nothing but wrestling. Haynes also noted that Matt Jackson has been helping his wife Dana with AEW merchandising, while Nick has continued working on Behind the Elite web series. As fans who have been keeping up with our other channel, Wrestlegamia's coverage of AEW games, Kenny Omega is working closely with AEW's various video games and building up the women's division. Nonetheless, AEW's power structure has changed dramatically. Basically, there are EVPs in name only in 2021. They no longer have final say in creative or talent hiring, any of them. TK pulled back on the reins and took that power away from all. Now, while morale seems to be high in AEW, it's a fascinating scenario if Khan has seized creative control. After all, one of the reasons AEW attracted talent like Rhodes, the Bucks and Omega was their ability to work closely behind the scenes. Could there be bad blood between EVPs and Tony Khan? And if so, how would it affect things when the wrestlers' contracts come due? Also, another interesting portion of the story dealt with Cody Rhodes and his fellow EVPs. It was also stressed to me from sources that Cody doesn't really have much of a relationship with any of the EVPs anymore. The others are still great friends, but Cody is very much on the outside looking in. Is there trouble in paradise, or is this a situation of AEW evolving as a company and Tony Khan exclusively focusing on creative while the EVPs handle other aspects of the company business? What you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Nikki Bella officially retires. That's bad news for fans looking for a Bella Twins reunion, as Nikki Bella shared some bad news with her fans during a Bella Twins' appearance on former WWE superstar Cameron's Sip in the Tea show. When asked if fans might expect to see twin magic in the ring again, Nikki noted, "I would love one day, like when Mateo's may be there, and he knows it, to have my son be ringside while his mom kicks ass. That would be amazing to me, but because he is my everything, I have to listen to the doctors, and as of now, they've put me on the retired bench for life. So it would take a lot of scans, x-rays and all this different stuff for them to actually approve me to do a run, and so that would be unlikely. That'll be years down the road." Now, the Bellas have teased a return for the ring for some time now, with fans thinking they might have had a return at WrestleMania 37, but right now it looks like fans will have to wait unless Nikki is swerving the fans by claiming she can no longer wrestle. Next up, WWE having big issues. What's the ticket sales picture like now that the WWE and AEW are back to running live events? Well, according to Dave Meltzer, September was a tough month for the WWE compared to AEW. Meltzer commented on the situation, saying, "We'll have more next week on this when I go through all the September business numbers, but AEW did outdraw WWE significantly per show. I'll figure with them with our Arthur Ashe Stadium. For October advances, AEW is slightly ahead paid, even though both Miami shows are not doing well. Really, October looks closer to a dead heat with both companies way down from September, because nobody has had big shows like AEW had in Newark and New York and WWE had in Philadelphia." Now, according to Meltzer, the WWE's ticket sales for Survivor Series have been very sluggish. He mentioned, "I'm still at a loss regarding Survivor Series at the Barclays Center on 21st November. As of press time, they were at 6,835, but as of earlier in the week, it was 4,700 that paid. It's probably a little higher now, but not much more than a few hundred, and of those, 2,107 were secondary market tickets, which means 44.8% of ticket sales went to secondary market brokers." Now, do keep in mind that Survivor Series is still way off, and we have recently observed the WWE's Madison Square Garden Super Show ticket sales were initially poor, but the show ended up setting a record for SmackDown. Next up, the relationship between Shane and Vince right now. Some fans are wondering if there's anything going on between Shane and Vince McMahon after news broke this week about Shane no longer participating in any backstage work with the WWE. While there are conflicting reports about whether Shane O'Mac has left the company, Wrestling News' Paul Davis is reporting that Shane and Vince are on good terms. The WWE source said, "I know that fans would want to think that there is this friction between Shane and Vince, but their relationship is great. When Shane returned in 2016, it was agreed by everyone that he would only work as a talent. That is what Shane wanted. Shane has other business interests. It was never a secret that he wasn't involved in the business side of WWE. Now, according to the report, Shane and Vince had some sort of falling out in 2009, but things were resolved prior to Shane's 2016 return to the WWE. The story also mentioned that Shane is going to be the executive chairman of the board for the company Ideanomics, and that McMahon is rumored to own a cannabis coop. Next up, JBL responds to bullying allegations. Now, is former WWE superstar JBL a bully? Well, that's a story fans have heard over the years, and JBL addressed this reputation during an appearance on Rick Bassman's Talking Tough podcast. When asked if he deserved his reputation as a bully, JBL answered, "You know, I could have deserved it. I don't know, we were younger, we broke balls, and I was a loud guy from the South, and a lot of people, I think, took that wrong. You know, some of my reputation could be deserved. I'm not trying to rewrite my history. I wasn't a saint. I drank a lot back then, and we ran the roads, and we always loved to crack. It was just part of what we did, and I think a lot of people took that the wrong way, and some of it could have gone too far. I'm not trying to excuse anything I've done." Another incident JBL covered was the time he was called out for allegedly mocking announcer Mauro Ranallo on the air after Ranallo won a poll as the best announcer in wrestling. JBL believes that things were misinterpreted as he was only talking in character. However, he recognizes why he caught so much flack for his comments and how they might have upset Ranallo. "I wish that Mauro had known for sure. I think that was one of the things that was really upsetting. I know it was upsetting to a lot of fans because they all talked about that show." Now, JBL remains a controversial figure in wrestling, and it remains to be seen if these comments will help him or hurt him. Next up, who actually cut the rope at Extreme Rules? Our wrestling fans are still talking about the exciting finish to the Extreme Rules main event where the top ropes broke on the Demon right when it looked as if he was going to defeat Roman Reigns for the championship. Now, while it remains to be seen if the WWE Universe will ever learn the storyline behind the top ropes breaking, it appears the person responsible has been caught on video, noting that it was the cameraman with a knife. Honestly, I thought it was something electronic that set it off, but it's just a good old-fashioned knife from the cameraman. I mean, that was some slick timing though. And finally, another wrestling engagement. And last but not least, there's another engagement to announce involving a WWE superstar, as current SmackDown star Toni Storm announced on Instagram that she's now engaged to current New Japan Pro Wrestling star Juice Robinson. We send our heartfelt congratulations to Storm and Robinson, and considering all the wrestling engagements, perhaps the WWE should run a special Valentine's Day pay-per-view where wrestlers can get married. I cannot strike that idea, it sucks. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.